Good day, this is Professor Will, CBMD PhD. Today's Friday, May 8, 2020. It is 6:10:50 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and this is a continuation of my Corona series. So let's get started here. Vitamin D levels appear to play a role in COVID-19 mortality rates. Patients with severe deficiency are twice as likely to experience major complications. Date, May 7, 2020. Source, Northwestern University. Summary. Researchers analyzed patient data from 10 countries. The team found a correlation between low vitamin D levels and hyperactive immune systems. Vitamin D strengthens innate immunity and prevents overactive immune responses. The findings could explain several mysteries, including why children are unlikely to die from COVID-19. After studying global data from the novel coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, researchers have discovered a strong correlation between severe vitamin D deficiency and mortality rates. Led by Northwestern University, the research team conducted a statistical analysis of data from hospitals and clinics across China, France, Germany, Italy, Iran, South Korea, Spain, Switzerland, United Kingdom, UK, and the United States. The researchers noted that patients with countries with high COVID-19 mortality rates, such as Italy, Spain, and the UK, had lower levels of vitamin D compared to patients in countries that were not as severely affected. This does not mean that everyone, especially those without known deficiency, need to start ordering supplements, the researchers caution. While I think it is important for people to know that vitamin D deficiency might play a role in mortality, we don't need to push vitamin D on everybody. This needs further study, and I hope our work will stimulate interest in this area. The data also may illuminate the mechanism of mortality, which, if proven, could lead to new therapeutic targets. Research teams were inspired to examine vitamin D levels after noticing unexplained differences in COVID-19 mortality rates from country to country. Some people hypothesize that differences in healthcare quality, age distributions, and population testing rates, or different strains of the coronavirus might be responsible. None of these factors appear to play a significant role. The healthcare system in northern Italy is one of the best in the world. Differences in mortality exist even if one looks across the same age group. And while the restrictions on testing do indeed vary, the disparities in mortality still exist when we looked at countries or populations for which similar testing rates apply. Instead, we saw a significant correlation with vitamin D deficiency, researchers say. By analyzing publicly available patient data from around the globe, research teams discovered a strong correlation between vitamin D levels and cytokine storm, a hyperinflammatory condition caused by an overreactive immune system, as well as a correlation between vitamin D deficiency and mortality. Cytokine storm can severely damage lungs and lead to acute respiratory distress syndrome and death in patients. This is what seems to kill a majority of COVID-19 patients, not the destruction of the lungs by the virus itself. It is the complications from the misdirected fire from the immune system. This is exactly where researchers believe vitamin D plays a major role. Not only does vitamin D enhance our innate immune systems, it also prevents our immune systems from becoming dangerously overactive. This means that having healthy levels of vitamin D could protect patients against severe complications, including death from COVID-19. Our analysis shows that it might be as high as cutting the mortality rate in half. It will not prevent a patient from contracting the virus, but it may reduce complications and prevent death in those who are infected. The researchers say this correlation might help explain the many mysteries surrounding COVID-19, such as why children are less likely to die. Children do not have a fully developed acquired immune system, which is the immune system's second line of defense and more likely to overreact. Children primarily rely on their innate immune system, researchers say. This may explain why their mortality rate is lower. Researchers carefully note that people should not take excessive doses of vitamin D, which might come with negative side effects. Researchers say the subject needs much more research to know how vitamin D could be used most effectively to protect against COVID-19 complications. It is hard to say which dose is most beneficial for COVID-19, researchers say. However, it is clear that vitamin D deficiency is harmful, and it can be easily addressed with appropriate supplementation. This might be another key to helping protect vulnerable populations such as African American and elderly patients who have a prevalence of vitamin D deficiency. Bat superimmunity may explain how bats carry coronavirus, study finds. Bat virus adaptation may explain species spillover, researchers say. Date, May 6, 2020. Source, University of Saskatchewan. Summary. Researchers have uncovered how bats can carry the Middle East respiratory syndrome, MERS coronavirus, without getting sick. Research that could shed light on how coronaviruses make the jump to humans and other animals. But bats don't get rid of the virus and don't get sick. We wanted to understand why the MERS virus doesn't shut down the bat immune responses as it does in humans. In research just published in Scientific Reports, the team has demonstrated for the first time that cells from an insect-eating brown bat can be persistently infected with MERS coronavirus for months, due to the important adaptation from both the bat and the virus working together. Instead of killing bat cells as the virus does with human cells, the MERS coronavirus enters a long-term relationship with the host maintained by bats' unique superimmune system. SARS-CoV-2 is thought to operate in the same way. Research work suggests that stresses on bats such as wet markets, other diseases, and possibly habitat loss may have a role in coronavirus spilling over to other species. When a bat experiences stress to their immune system, it disrupts the immune system virus balance and allows the virus to multiply. We see that the MERS coronavirus can very quickly adapt itself to a particular niche, and although we do not completely understand what is going on, this demonstrates how coronaviruses are able to jump from species to species so effortlessly. So far, the SARS-CoV-2 virus has infected more than 3.5 million people worldwide and killed 7% of those infected. In contrast, the MERS virus infected nearly 2,500 people in 2012, but killed 1 in every 3 people infected. There is no vaccine for either SARS-CoV-2 or MERS. While camels are the known intermediate host of MERS-CoV, bats are suspected to have the ancestral host. Coronaviruses rapidly adapt to the species they infect, but little is known on the molecular interactions of these viruses with their natural bat host. A 2017 USAS-led study showed that bat coronaviruses can persist in their natural bat host for at least 4 months of hibernation. When exposed to the MERS virus, bat cells adapt, not by producing inflammation-causing proteins that are hallmarks of getting sick, but by rather maintaining a natural antiviral response, a function which shuts down in other species, including humans. Simultaneously, the MERS virus also adapts to the bat host cells by very rapidly mutating one specific gene. Operating together, these adaptations result in the virus remaining long-term in the bat, but being rendered harmless until something such as disease or other stressors upsets this delicate equilibrium. Good day, this is Professor Will, CBMD PhD on infectious disease and microbiology. I hope you enjoyed listening and have a great day.